everybody, I'm Chris Cuomo. Welcome to Prime Time. Will today be the last day that we wait before fighting back against this pandemic? I say we because after 138,000 dead, this president has not really moved much from his original delusion.
They tried the impeachment hoax. That was on a perfect conversation. And this is their new hoax.
We now all know that the pandemic is all too real, and that the real hoax is the Trump administration's alleged response. He can't wear a mask at the Resolute desk, but he can go Goya, oh boya. He can't help states with schools, but he has plenty of energy to take on this catastrophe.
So shower heads, you take a shower, the water doesn't come out. You want to wash your hands, the water doesn't come out. So what do? You just stand there longer, or you take a shower longer? Because my hair, I don't know about you, but it has to be perfect. Perfect.
You could just turn the knob more, or call a plumber. But the bigger point is, why make up a problem like he just did when you have a real pandemic? Team Trump's lack of effort to this point has left them with only this weak sauce to sell.
We believe this president has great approval in this country. His historic COVID response speaks for itself.
Yup. Historic low numbers. Historic hoax as a response. That's why we, you, I, your neighbors, your community, we can no longer wait. You want your kids in school? You want to get back to work for real? Demand those in power do their damn jobs. How? You have to get angry about what's happening. You must be outraged by the obvious. I know you are. Here's why. Good conscience will not move these men and women to do the right thing for us. Okay? You see it. It has not led our leaders to lessen our load. What will is tapping into their fear of consequence. Many years have passed, but one of the great movies captured where we are right now and where change has to start. Remember this from Network.
It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
It was true then. It's true now. If you are not mad as hell at what's happening in this country, you're not paying attention. You can go online. You don't have to go out the window anymore. You have to let the people in power, the people on the fringe, the people who comment on the people on the fringe, let them know how outraged you are. Let them know you are going to vote everywhere and in every race you can. None of us is immune to this danger. Only 2 states have declining cases. 39 are on the rise. The reason is the hoax of our response. There's no reason for America to be the worst. There's no reason for Texas to have to, at this point, with all we had time to prepare for, to be bringing in refrigerated trailers to store the dead. Florida is on fire. Governor DeSantis mocked concerns. Now he babbles through a mask, backpedaling as cases crush that state and all those good people. More daily cases in Florida than New York had at its peak, more than Germany, the UK, and Japan combined right now. More than 50 hospital ICUs have reached capacity. Why? DeSantis calls the explosion a blip. All those sick and dead, no plan, in denial, hiding hospitalization numbers. Question is, will voters make him a blip? Where is the outrage? Force him to face the facts. Georgia, Republican governor there, Kemp, banning cities from mandating masks in public. Think about this. He is suing Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, who was dealing with COVID, her husband, her kids. He is forcing a block of her mask order, not the other way, forcing her to have people wear masks because they work. Fighting against one of your only tools. And why? This is the outrage. Because they are all, Kemp, DeSantis, Abbott in Texas, they're all on the Trump train. And they're all off the rails as a result. There should be outrage. Because you don't have to be unreasonable to be on the right. GOP-led Arkansas required masks in public today. There are reasonable Republicans still. Governors like Maryland's Larry Hogan, compelled to call out this BS. He just wrote an op-ed slamming Trump's hopeless COVID response. This Republican, the head of the Governors Association, by the way, okay, says the president has left his state to fight alone like all the others. The boldest move by Trump in this mess has been what? Objectively, it's been this power play he just made to hide data from you. It is an outrage. As of last night, the CDC had to take down its COVID patient data under orders from HHS. But what happened? You're outraged. The media is outraged. This is BS, what he's doing. I don't have to curse for this to be vulgar. It's all profane. It's all vulgar. Don't worry about the words. Worry about what warrants those words. So, because of the outrage, HHS directed that the data go back up. You see, they fear consequence. They fear the outrage. You have the power. But, what's the but? Now they say that data won't be modified after July 14th. Why not? Give me a good reason for limiting your access, my access as a journalist, to reality. There is none. It is an outrage. So be outraged. This is not about facts. It's about crushing the fiction. Remember Trump retweeting a conspiracy theory from this former game show host, Chuck Woolery. He was on a show called Love Connection. Woolery accused the CDC, Democrats, doctors, everybody he could think of lying about COVID to hurt Trump. What happened? Woolery now says his own son has COVID. He put up a follow-up tweet that this virus is in fact real. It is here, before deactivating his Twitter account. That one didn't get a retweet from President Trump. I wonder why not. It is an outrage. Now let's be clear. I'm saying be outraged, not be inhumane. Forgive Woolery's ignorance. I wish he hadn't canceled his account. I wish that now he would start talking about what the reality is instead of his political reality. And I feel for his kid, man. This sucks. Even if you don't have symptoms, you don't know what's going to happen next. I wish the family well. I hope his son recovers quickly. I hope nobody else gets it. But you cannot forgive a president for faking a response to a pandemic, let alone for political gain. I would bet you anything, if you start voicing your outrage, if he and the others in power, the men and women, know you are coming for them, they'd change. The whole dynamic there would change. We need that right now. If you want kids in school, if you want our butts back where we can provide for them best while we work, you have to do it now. So let's focus our energy on what the reality is and what has to happen. I want to bring in Dr. Ashish Jha, the director of the Harvard Global Health Institute. And I want, thank you very much, Doc, for being with me as always, to start with this idea of, I hope I'm wrong. What good reason is there to say Not to the CDC hospitals. Give it to HHS. Okay, fine. CDC could still have them. All right, I want y'all to be able to have access to the data. Okay, he is a scientist. All right. But not after July 14th. We're not going to update it after that. What is the good reason?
Chris, thank you for having me on. There is no good reason.
You sure
The
that
bottom
there's
line-
not some efficiency thing or, you know...
Oh, sure. Okay, so let's play this out. Fine. Let's play this out. CDC is not doing a great job. The data's, they're not sort of handling this efficiently. Let's move this to HHS. Okay. It's theoretically possible, but CDC is the clearinghouse for all of our public health data. We rely on them. Why would you take one piece of data out if they're not doing a good job? Let's fix it. Let's give them resources, technical expertise, whatever they're missing. But this idea that we're going to create a whole parallel structure, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
What about the July 14th cutoff?
We are early in the pandemic, Chris. And so if starting now, we are not going to have updates and regular information on hospitalizations, how the heck do we know how things are going and how we actually manage these things? So the July 14th cutoff is a huge problem.
The argument that, hey, listen, everything is true, okay? You have 39 states are going up, only 2 are going down, but this is what was always going to happen. This is not about a mess up of any kind of leadership. It's not about people being too lax. The virus was always going to go through. Is that true? Was this inevitable?
Not even close. And you could say, well, was that just your opinion? No. I look at the rest of the world. Look at Europe. People are opening up. The economies are in better shape. Kids are going back to school. Why? Because they controlled the virus. And in our country, we have chosen, as our political leaders have chosen, not to control the virus. And that means that in not just those 39 states, but in about a dozen states, things are out of control. In another dozen states, things are bad, but still manageable. These are choices we've made, Chris. These are not inevitable. These are not fated.
And we can still make better choices, especially as we get more information. Let me get your take quickly on 2 headlines. 1, CDC finds most patients seem to share at least one of 3 symptoms: fever, cough, shortness of breath. Only 45% experienced all 3. I'm one of those, by the way. So what is the relevance here in terms of why is this good to know?
Yeah, so it just is a reminder that while this virus has lots of different manifestations, at the end of the day, almost everybody really experiences it as a respiratory infection. Fever, cough, shortness of breath. Those are the things that really drive this. And so if we just focus on that, anybody who has any of those 3 things needs to get identified, needs to get tested.
Smart testing.
And needs to. Yeah.
All right, I got you. How about this other one? Do you buy the blood type stuff? Again, they say A may be more susceptible. I'm A negative. Good grade, bad blood type, apparently. And that O is low risk. Now, my wife is O, and she got it, but a much more mild case than I had. And there are a bunch of O's in our midst who have these weird stories of not getting it, comma, despite the fact that, ... and then they have these individualized horror stories of, and I took care of this one who was sick as heck, but I never got it. So do you buy the blood type thing?
Look, there's clearly something going on. There's some scientific evidence, clearly, that people with O are less likely to get it, people with A more likely to get it, or more likely to have a severe case. I don't know what it means. Here's the biggest bottom line. There are plenty of people with O-type blood who still end up getting very sick, so it's not somehow magically protective. And second, none of us can change our blood type. So I'm not sure it really helps at the end of the day. We have to understand what it teaches us about the biology of the virus. That's what's important. And that really is going to take a lot of work, a lot of teamwork, of people coming together to figure that out. But from a functional point of view and a policy point of view, it doesn't really change anything.
Dr. Ashish Jha, thank you for bringing the information, bringing the insight, and helping us understand things better. We're all in it together. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All right.